Hello and welcome to dinner tonight again. Tonight I'm going to make orange chicken for all those of you who have been craving orange chicken but haven't been able to go to Panda Express or to the Safeway deli to get your orange chicken or whatever Chinese restaurant. It's actually pretty straightforward to make, so maybe you'll watch me make it and this will be something you think you can try at home. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is show you how to make a couple of drinks. I'm going to make a Boulevard d'Hier, and then I'm going to make a Negroni. So the ingredients for both of these drinks are virtually the same, except one is with gin and one is with whiskey. So what they have in them is Campari and red vermouth. So this is a sweet vermouth versus a dry white vermouth, which you would use in a martini. This also goes in a Manhattan, so it's really good. And then, of course, our house always has at least one full bottle of Tanquerays. And then I've got some Knob Creek whiskey. I kind of go back and forth between Knob Creek and Bullet whiskey or bourbon, sometimes a rye. You know, feel free to try anything that's locally made. A lot of times places have good locally made whiskey and gin. So what we're going to do, because these are really straightforward. I got 2 glasses here. So I've got 1 ounce on this side. I've got 1.5 ounces on this side. It's 1 ounce of Campari. Oh, make a mess. Then 1 ounce of vermouth. Or I'm sorry, yeah, the vermouth. Okay, and 1 ounce of gin. So it's a pretty stiff drink. And then, because the Negronis for me, I'm going to go for 1.5 ounces. Okay, and then you get a bit of orange peel. Unfortunately, this is the only orange we have. This is the one I actually zested for the orange chicken, but I've got a little bit of peel here, so I'm just going to peel a good slice of that off. Give it a good pinch in there, get some of the juices out. We'll do a little spritz, drop it in there. Let's see, where's another good spot? Up here at the top. There you go. Give it a little squeeze, get a little stuff out, give it a little stir. You don't have to give it a whole big stir. You don't have to put it in a shaker or anything. You don't have to get crazy. You don't have to get a cocktail shaker or anything. So here is a Negroni with whiskey. This is a Boulevard d'Hier with gin. So cheers, bottoms up, people. Okay, so the drinks are all made. My wife has her drink, I have my drink. The cameraman had a little sip, decided he was not into it at all. I do just want to say one thing about my shirt. For those of you who speak Spanish, you might think, oh, I love bathrooms. That's not quite what it means. I got this shirt when I was in Ecuador last year in a town called Baños, because they have hot springs, and you could go to like these spas and soak in hot water and that kind of stuff. So I love Baños, and I do. It's a great place. So if you ever go to Ecuador, you want to go to Baños. All right, let's get started with making orange chicken. The first thing we want to do is get the rice going before we start anything else. So here I've got 2 cups of rice. You might see that I've got 3 different types of rice in there. We're kind of running low on things, so I'm just using what I got. So I've got some Japanese sticky rice, I've got some brown jasmine rice, and then I've got white jasmine rice. So I'm going to just pour that all in here. And then we're going to come over here to the sink and we're going to rinse this a couple times. So to rinse rice, this just gets some of the gluten out. And this is going to get it all mixed up nicely. Okay, you can see it's kind of dirty water. You can just tip this out. It comes out. And, you know, people say, you know, people do this like 5 or 6 times. I only ever do it like twice. That seems to be adequate. Just swish it around. Drain it off. And the rice, for the most part, just stays in the bottom of the pan. So a few grains escape, and if a little water stays in there, it's good. Okay, so I had 2 cups of rice, all of which require different amounts of water. So if you're not really comfortable making rice, don't mix up 3 different types. So I'm just going to put in about 3.5 cups of water. And I don't know, experience tells me that should be about right. Then I'm going to put in a little bit of salt. And then, since this is an Asian-inspired meal, I'm going to put in a little bit of sesame oil to just give the rice a little bit of a nutty flavor to it. Okay, so just about a tablespoon. There you go. Close that. I just put our rice cooker on quick rice. This will take 30 to 35 minutes, but I can set it and forget it. That's what I really like about a rice cooker. All right, let's move over here to the stove, and the first thing we're going to do is make the orange sauce. Okay, let me get things turned on here. So I've got an empty pot here for the sauce. Got a pot here for the chicken with some oil in it that I'm going to deep fry in, and then I'm going to steam up some broccoli to go along with this. Okay, so this is heating up, and first thing I'm going to do is pour in 1 cup of orange juice. And so any type of orange juice is fine. I mean, you could actually squeeze an orange. That's a lot of oranges to get, so I just got a small thing of orange juice. Here is a 1/2 cup of sugar. That's about a teaspoon of grated ginger. It calls for 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm like, come on, a 1/4 teaspoon? We need a whole teaspoon in there. Ginger's always good. Okay, that'll give it a little bit of extra flavor. And I've got some rice vinegar here. It calls for 2 tablespoons. I don't know if I've quite got 2 tablespoons. Oh yes, I do. There we go. All right. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce goes in as well. And then a couple of cloves of garlic. Got my trusty garlic press. Hopefully everybody's gotten a good garlic press by now. If you watch me do garlic, this is the fastest way to do it. You can also put in like some garlic powder if you want. Don't do garlic salt because that's salty. There we go. Garlic is in. It's always good to clean the garlic press out right after you do it. Otherwise, if you leave it in there for a couple hours, it gets really stuck and dried in there. Then I've got one zested orange in there. Okay. And we're going to whisk this up. And we're going to let this come to a boil, and then we're going to throw in some cornstarch. So we'll come right back when this is all boiled up. Okay, so my sauce has come to a simmer. You can see it's actually thickened up a little bit, but we're going to thicken it up even more. The secret to any good Asian cooking is always cornstarch. So what I've got here is 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. And one of the problems people always have with cornstarch is when they add it to something, it gets lumpy. But this is how I do it. So I've got a little Tupperware container with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I've got 2 tablespoons of water. I'm just going to put it in there. Put the lid on, and then you just shake it. And then it's all mixed in a liquid. And there you go. You're not going to get any lumpy cornstarch bits in your orange chicken. So you just pour that in, whisk that in. It'll come up to a simmer. Oh, I'm also going to throw in some red pepper flakes just for a little bit of heat. So my family kind of likes things a little spicy. I like things a little spicy. I don't know, it's somewhere, I don't know, 1/2 teaspoon. So this should be pretty good. And as you can, I don't know if you can see, this is thickened up quite nicely there. So, and that's really all you need for the sauce, okay? So, So the sauce is done. I'm going to let that simmer for just another second. Clear this stuff out of the way, and then we're going to get started on the chicken. So I've got 3 pretty good sized chicken breasts cubed up there. And I've got some egg. And let's see, let's get this off the heat. That's all set to go. I'm going to move this pot, which has been warming up with the oil, back onto that front one. Turn that off, turn that down a little bit. Okay, and then so what I've got here is I've got a few eggs that I've scrambled up, and then I've got 1/3 cup of flour and 1/3 cup of cornstarch. I'm going to put those in there. Whisk that together. Make sure you get this good and mixed up. You don't want 1/2 of it flour, 1/2 of it cornstarch, because then it's not going to... Oh, the other thing you need on this is a little bit of salt. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Okay. So we're going to go into the egg first, and then we're going to go into the flour. So I'm going to do this in batches. So we'll get started with about 1/3 of it. Just get that all nice and mixed around in there. And you know, it's going to be a messy thing. The best thing to do with this is you can do it with a fork, but really getting it all out with a fork is going to take a long time. So, you know, I might just use my fingers and pick it out and throw them in here. Yep, they're all pretty slippery. You know, and you want to drain as much egg off as you can. You don't want to put a whole bunch of egg in the flour. Okay, that's all of those. Okay, and then yeah, just mix this around. Get these all nicely coated with the flour and the cornstarch. That looks pretty good. Try not to have any wet spots. There you go. All right, shake them off. Put them in the bowl here. Okay, so I'll finish up the rest of these, and then we'll get them cooked up. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, and I've already actually deep fried some of it, so I've just got basically 1 batch left. So you can see the oil in there. It's supposed to be about 350, 400 degrees. Okay, if you have a thermometer, throw it in there. But basically, you know, it was on. I've got it on 6. And I kept it there for quite a while. Basically, once you take 1 batch out, turn it up for a minute to kind of get back up to heat. Then you just throw these in ever so gently. Make sure you don't splash yourself. But basically, you are just deep frying these. So it is really helpful to you know, use a deep pot so that you don't like get splatter all over your stove and your counter. So all these are going in. Okay, give those just a little stir so they don't stick together. Pretty quickly they'll separate. Okay. All right, and it takes about 3 to 5 minutes, and these aren't getting like super dark brown. But yeah, we'll come back when I'm taking these out. So this last batch is just about done. I've been keeping all the other ones warm in the oven. Here's what they look like. So this is the whole batch right there. So I will tell you, this has taken probably 20 to 25 minutes. I did it in 4 batches in here. And also, full disclosure, I did have to make up a little bit more of flour and cornstarch mixture just to finish coating it. So you know, I don't know, the recipe said for a third a cup of each. I use basically 2/3 of a cup of each. But I've got a slotted spoon here. I'm just taking it out so it drains. I've got a paper towel in there. I'm going to turn this off. Just fish these out. And drain pretty good. Then I've got my sauce over there on the back burner, warming back up. There we go. Perfect. All right. So this can come off. And then I am just going to throw these in that sauce. Oh. That was bad. Now we got orange sauce in the oil. So I saved it was the end of the bottle. So once this cools off, I'm going to pour this back in the bottle and throw the bottle out. So that's one good way to dispose of this old oil. So here we go. I'm just going to dump all this in here. And we're going to mix it up so everything gets nicely coated with that orange sauce. Whoops, one jumped out. So this is like a homemade take on actually one of our most favorite quick and easy meals that we get from Trader Joe's. I don't know if you've ever had Trader Joe's orange chicken, but it's frozen in the frozen section. And on those nights when really we've got like 20 minutes literally to make dinner before we have to be out the door, we throw the orange chicken in the oven and throw on some rice. And 20 minutes later, we've got orange chicken. So you can see the rice here is all done. It's always good to give it a little fluff. So we've got quite a bit of rice here. Ooh, and let's see, we're gonna move that there. Got to, just for a little garnish, we're gonna add a little bit of green onion on top just to make it look pretty. We'll cut off the tops a little bit. No, that one's not very pretty at all. We'll just rip that off. And just chop this up. And you're gonna go all the way down to the end. There we go. A couple little chops more. All right, and then I've got a taster standing in the wings there. So we're gonna get a little rice here. And we'll put some orange chicken on top of that. Okay, this is going to be really hot. So, where's my taster? Oh, here she is. This is my daughter Elise. She's going to be the taster. You might see her in a future video.
Oh yeah, I've heard I'm on board for making a quiche crust.
Yes.
Watch out for that video.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you want a knife or...
I think I can just...
Okay, careful. It's going to be pretty hot. You might want to blow on it.
Uh-oh. Oh.
How does it compare to Trader Joe's?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nice orange flavor?
Mm-hmm. I have some comments to say, but...
Oh, okay. We'll let you finish chewing.
I have to say, it has much more orange flavor than the Trader Joe's orange chicken, so I really appreciate that. And I wish it was a bit more crispy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
like the Trader Joe's,
yeah.
But you baked that, so
yeah,
that might be why.
Yeah,
this is better.
Yeah. All right, so that is how you make your orange chicken from start to finish. I mean, this probably did take about an hour because you're taking time to dredge everything and then cook it in batches. So it does take a little bit of time, but it is a pretty simple recipe to make if you've got time. And most of us are at home most of the days these days anyway, so we've got time. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and hit the bell if you if you want notification. Anyway, so that's dinner tonight. We're going to be having orange chicken homemade with some steamed broccoli. Thanks, and we'll see everybody later.